First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Good afternoon, folks, and welcome in here. Today, I'm Meteorologist Ross Mummah. We're going to change things up at least a little bit, primarily one because I'm here by myself, but also some big news out from the National Hurricane Center. The report on Hurricane Helene was issued yesterday or the day before, but starting to just kind of filter through and piece through a lot of the information in that report and just kind of the entire overview of what the majority of the United States saw with regards to the storm, but also just kind of how it came about. So first, we're just going to start off with the initial track from Helene here. So you can see it kind of originated down in the far kind of South Caribbean Sea, near Belize and Nicaragua, eventually making its way into kind of the Western Caribbean, continuing to strengthen, and then did reach Category 1 hurricane status there near the tip of the Yucatan. So kind of going in between Mexico and Cuba, reached hurricane status, and then continued to strengthen as it moved northward up into the Gulf of America there. So almost due west of Key West, it reached Category 2 strength, and then right before it made landfall in Florida's Big Bend, just to the southwest of Perry, Florida, it reached its peak intensity, a Category 4 storm with sustained winds of 140 miles per hour as it made landfall there, again, just to the southwest of Perry, Florida. But then, because it had such a quick movement, northward movement, it moved inland rather quickly. So it still had hurricane, Category 1 status as it moved just to the west of kind of the Waycross area, just by 50 miles west. So continued to maintain that strength and that large wind radii field of tropical storm force winds as far northward as Athens, Georgia. You can see there it passed just to the east of Atlanta, and then eventually became a tropical or a post-tropical depression as it moved over the Appalachian Mountains, kind of over top of Knoxville, Tennessee, and then just kind of made a loop-de-doo through Kentucky and into northwestern Tennessee. So that is what the track was, but here's just kind of some of the facts that came from that report out from the National Hurricane Center. And if you are interested more in this, that is available to the public. You can just Google it on, at the National Hurricane Center. The whole report is there. I believe it's anywhere from like 35 to 50 pages. That sounds a lot more daunting than it actually is. They do a very nice job of kind of explaining what happened in some of the statistics. So you can see right there, 248 deaths make it the deadliest U.S. hurricane since Hurricane Katrina. I think that's a pretty substantial number, especially considering that was nearly 20 years ago now since Hurricane Katrina. And I do have those numbers broken down at least a little bit more. It was responsible for at least 175 direct deaths. Then you kind of add in the indirect deaths, heart attacks, car crashes, things like that with regards to the weather and the storm. And that's what got the number up to 248 eventually. But 18 of those deaths did occur in the state of Florida, 28 of those in Georgia, and the vast majority, unfortunately, did happen in North Carolina, or especially western North Carolina, 85 of those deaths, primarily due to just the incredible flash flooding concerns, which kind of leads me to the last point on there. This was a 1 in a 1,000 year rainfall event for many of those who live across Appalachia. So western South and North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, some of these locations, as Andy starts to pull up some of the videos from these hardest hit areas, they received over 20, 25 inches of rain. I think the highest total I do have here was over 30 inches of rain. Yeah. So Busick, North Carolina, receiving 30.78 inches of rain in 3 days. And many locations across western North Carolina did see upwards of anywhere from 20 to 30 inches of rainfall from this event. So although it made landfall in Florida, really, I think, the hardest hit locations were actually where all that upsloping air just kind of sat right over top of the eastern slopes of the Appalachians there in western North Carolina. flooded out all those small creeks and streams. Those fed into the big rivers, also getting a lot of rain, and it was just kind of a domino effect. Talking about some of those streams and river gauges, 63 of them exceeded their record flood levels during Hurricane Helene. So 63 different streams and creeks and rivers hit their maximum flood levels ever recorded in some of those river gauges. So that's kind of another pretty substantial stat there. So the other point I had, if you just pop the graphic back up real quick, Andy, Helene also caused an estimated $78.7 billion in damages, making it the 7th costliest hurricane in United States history, behind Hurricanes Katrina, Harvey, Ian, Maria, Hurricane Sandy that hit back in 2012 in New Jersey, and then Hurricane Ida as well. So 7th costliest hurricane and most deadly since Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. So pretty substantial numbers there. I'll kind of zone it in a little bit closer to the First Coast specifically. Just over 1.69 million customers in Florida lost power during Hurricane Helene. So many of those were around the Tampa area. They saw storm surge and high winds as well, but also, especially for folks out towards the Big Bend, out towards the I-75 corridor in the Swanee Valley, a lot of folks lost service and lost power out there in that area. But really, for the First Coast specifically, our highest wind gusts were actually seen across, again, the Swanee Valley, but also southeast Georgia, our inland locations. We're talking Ware and Pierce, Brantley counties, Charlton County as well. So just kind of breaking it down through some of our highest recorded gusts. Waycross in northern Ware County had a 71 mile per hour wind gust. Nahunta in Brantley County, a 51 mile per hour gust. Waynesville in Brantley County as well saw a 58 mile per hour wind gust. The highest recorded one in Charlton County was a 64 mile per hour gust. And although this is just north of our viewing area in southeast Georgia, Alma had a 56 mile per hour sustained wind with a gust upwards of 100 miles per hour, which is the record wind gust reported in Alma there. So because of that, we also saw substantial power outages, tree damage. We had trees come down in homes, on vehicles and trucks, house damage as well. So a lot of uprooted trees, snapped trees, and a lot of damage also for many of those across inland southeast Georgia, across the Okeechobee. So a pretty incredible event. This is some great video showing the hurricane hunters actually flying through Hurricane Helene before the storm pushed toward Florida's Big Bend and eventually made landfall again as a Category 4 storm. A couple other just quick facts here. Let's see. Helene also did produce, we kind of forget this now because Helene is remembered for the devastating and deadly flooding across western North Carolina, but it also did produce 33 tornadoes across portions of Florida, primarily down towards Orlando and central Florida, but also Georgia, South Carolina had multiple tornado warnings that did unfortunately lead to a couple of deaths, especially across northern Georgia and northwestern South Carolina. So there were also some tornadoes involved with this as well. There were 34 flash flood emergencies. As the 2024 season as a whole for the First Coast, I believe we had one flash flood emergency, and that was back with Hurricane Debbie in August, and that was for northern Columbia and Baker County, kind of near the Live Oak area, north of there. So that was just one. 34 of those actually occurred during Hurricane Helene, and again, many of which occurred in western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee there across the Appalachian Mountains. So just some chilling images from the storms, or just the damage from that storm there across much of the Appalachians. But again, that entire report on Hurricane Helene is readily available to you online. So just look up Hurricane Helene report, and then it'll take you right to the National Hurricane Center's page. And you can read down through all of the more specific information and look at some of the charts and data that they have from this entire storm. They've put a lot of work and effort into being very specific, not only for Florida and Georgia, but also for everyone who was impacted and devastated up there in western North Carolina as well. But although that was last year, we are already looking ahead to this year. Now just 72 days away from the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season here. So just over 2 months away, but we are gearing up and getting ready for it. I believe that National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA's 2025 seasonal outlook, that will come out, I believe, in mid-April or perhaps at the end of April. So we're not too far out from that annual outlook they often put out. But we do have the names, the 2025 Atlantic Tropical Cyclone names. Andrea will be the first one on the list, followed by Barry, and then you can just kind of look down through the rest of them there. So the name list is out. We are, again, getting ready for it, but still a little bit of ways away from that. Shouldn't have to be worried about that at all here on this Friday evening or this weekend. Not nearly as many spring breakers or beachgoers out there at Jacksonville Beach today, primarily because it's a little colder, and it was certainly a little bit windy out there, but plenty of sunshine, so no rain or storms in the forecast here tonight. Temperature-wise, though, man, we're sitting at 65 in Jacksonville. It's 56 degrees in St. Augustine, so mid to upper 50s, perhaps low 60s. From Atlantic Beach down through Neptune, Ponte Vedra, all the way down to Palm Coast. It is a very chilly day to be out along the beachhead and the shoreline today, and really everywhere. Although you might try to soak up a little bit of warmth in the sunshine, certainly doesn't feel like a very warm Friday afternoon and evening out there. The good news is that the winds have tapered off pretty substantially, so not going to have nearly as much of a wind chill out there today. So try and get out there, enjoy your Friday evening. Temperatures throughout the remainder of the night, especially after sunset, going to drop down pretty substantially. We're talking really low 50s just before midnight, and then low 40s overnight this evening and by early tomorrow morning. And that's just for the Jacksonville metro area. You look west and inland locations, upper 30s. So it is going to be a very chilly start to your Saturday morning, but don't worry, maybe you can warm up with a nice brew or some good barbecue tomorrow afternoon. We got the Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue Festival happening at Metro Park here in downtown Jacksonville. The VIPs start at noon. General admission begins at 2 p.m. And overall, some pretty nice weather. Again, despite the cold start in the morning, we'll rebound rather nicely by the afternoon. Low to mid 70s out there. A very light breeze at most. So it should be a fairly nice Saturday across the majority of the First Coast. Still a little bit cooler out along the beachhead and the shoreline, but overall not too much to be shaking your head at or to be upset about, at least for your Saturday. And there is a look at your beach forecast for Saturday. The only thing that you might want to keep in mind is, although it might not feel all that warm, your burn time is only going to be about 15 minutes. So make sure you pack the sunscreen. And also, if you are planning on getting into the water, especially early on here in the season, we do still have a moderate rip current risk throughout the day tomorrow. It's been a high risk the last several, so the overall rip current risk is starting to lessen a little bit, but just keep that in mind if you do plan on getting out there in the ocean at all on your Saturday. But Sunday, a very similar story then. Sunny skies, those sun-drenched skies continue to dominate across the really vast majority of the First Coast, and temperatures continue to warm up then. Upper 70s there for you to end the weekend, but we are already, looking ahead to our next big storm system and weather maker, and it's likely going to bring some severe weather to portions of the Arklatex and Dixie Alley there. So really from northeast Texas up through Shreveport, Louisiana, and then northern Mississippi, southwestern Tennessee, kind of around the Memphis area, does have a chance for some gusty winds and large hail late Sunday night and into early Monday morning. And that very same system will eventually bring us some rain by early next week. So right there you can see just after midnight on Sunday night, some line of showers and storms making their way across Dixie Alley. Most of those showers won't reach us until the afternoon on Monday. So areas off to the west and northwest of the First Coast, we'll see them shortly after lunchtime. We do not expect many thunderstorms, if any at all here. So primarily just some widespread rain. I think at most we see some wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour, but not expecting any severe weather with our storms. So some good news on that front. It will be a pretty warm and breezy day out there on Monday, but everything clears out in time for the Gator and Seminoles baseball game over at VyStar Ballpark Tuesday evening. Beautiful night out there to play some ball. Temperatures going to be perhaps a little bit on the chillier side in the 60s there by the end of the game. And then after that, the rest of next week's looking pretty good. A little bit of a seesaw effect with highs in the mid to upper 70s, but no big storm chances in the forecast there over the next 7 days.